Hi guys, welcome back. This Crochet and Coffee here, and for today's edition of Mindful Monday, we are going to teach you how to do a scratch art design. Now, I had this asked me to be done by a viewer. I can't remember the viewer's name, I do apologize, but I did have a viewer ask me, how exactly do you do this? And it might seem simple to some, but some people might just be curious as to exactly how does this all work? Which it is very simple, so this is going to be a short video, hopefully. But you guys know how I ramble and get on tangents, so we're going to try to make this a short video. First things first, I redid my Color Street. This is Work of Fine Heart by Color Street. For all your Color Street needs, go visit my girl, Creativity by Gidge. I will link her down in the description box below. Aren't they pretty? Yeah. Alright, so this is my pattern. I also had someone ask me, do they come out of that book easily? Well, all I did was like fold the top part over and boom, it came right out. So yeah, they come out pretty easily out of the book. And if you don't know what book I'm talking about, I will also link it down below. It is Mandalas for Meditation, Scratch Off Nightscapes. I highly recommend this book. It does have a lot of designs in it that can be what people would consider tedious, but this is supposed to be something that's relaxing and not something that you speed through. So yeah, let's get started. So first things first, probably wondering what this is. Now this tool did not come with the kit. With the kits you get this little toothpick tool. It's just a thin piece of wood that comes in your book. When you get your book, I got mine off Amazon. When you get your book, in the back of the book, if I can get it open here, there's a little slot for it. And this is just a piece of washi tape to hold it in place. Another viewer told me that little trick, so thank you. The toothpick is held in place by the little piece of washi tape, but the toothpick does come with your book. So it'll be located in the back of your book for you. Or you can go out and buy a little toolkit like I did. A little toolkit only costs a few bucks. Again, I will link it down below. It comes with a couple of other little tools, and I'm actually going to pull this brush out of here for us to use today. But the other tools are a bigger piece of wood, and then you have this little scrapey tool thing, which I'm not 100% sure as to what that's for. I honestly don't use it, nor do I use the big toothpick thing. I use the one that came with it, the little makeup brush, and the pen. Now this pen I use because not only does it have this cool tip here, but if you take the top off, it has another very fine tip pen point there. So that's why I use this, and then my wooden stick, and then this is just to brush the debris away from when you scratch. Now, when you start a scratch art, you want to be very, very careful. If you have long nails, if you have metal rings, that will scratch this outer part. Now, this black part does come off, so you do not want to, like, scratch at it. Because if you scratch at it, and I'll show you here, it does scratch off. So you have to be very careful whenever you're doing your scratch art, because if you have on metal rings, if you have long nails and you accidentally scratch it, it will damage the outer portion of this. And depending on what you're doing with it, if you're, say, going to frame it or give it as a gift, you don't want a bunch of claw marks like a cat got a hold of it and had a field day. So you want to make sure you're very careful with it. Luckily for me, I have short nails. My wedding ring is silicone, so it's not going to affect it at all. So yes, that's one of my tips that I have learned, is be very careful. Also be careful when you have your tools around it, because if you scratch your tool across it, you will mess up this piece of paper. So, and it's almost kind of like cardstock. It's kind of stiff, like almost like a business card almost. Like it's about as thin as a business card. So it's not really, you know, that big. So we're going to get started here. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to scratch at it. So I'm going to zoom you in so you can get it a little bit closer and see what I'm doing, and I'll explain to you how I do this. So let's zoom you in if I can figure it out. Sorry, my phone did an update, and now like everything is all kinds of willy wonky. And what is that? Oh, Okay, I found it. All right, sorry about that. So, I have you zoomed in at this part at the bottom here. Now, we're gonna start here because it's closest to us and there's less chance of me like scraping it if I try to start at the top. So, first things first, you angle it to whatever angle you're comfortable with. Now, for some odd reason, I write sideways. Like most people can write like this, like straight up and down. I write sideways. I don't know why, but I do. So whenever I do my scratch art, I always have to turn it at an angle. But you do whatever you have to do, whatever makes you feel comfortable. This is, you know, relaxing. So however you feel comfortable doing it is how you do it. One of the reasons why I say about if you have metal rings, you want to be careful, because when you're writing, if you write like I do, part of your hand rests on the paper. And if you have on a metal ring and you go to move your hand quick, you're scratching that paper. So you have to be very, very careful. All right, so I'm just going to use the wooden stick to show you that you can use the wooden stick that comes with it. Something else that I like to use that I probably don't have around me right now is a napkin. I'm just going to grab this one, because sometimes the napkin is easier to brush the debris away with. So now that you have what you need to get started, we're going to get started. So you just essentially pick a point where you want to start. And what I like to do first is just trace the area. Now you don't have to press down too hard. You just outline that area. And you don't want to go fast. If you go fast, you will have a greater chance of making a mistake. And then this little brush just brushes that debris away, just like that. So you just take your time. You can't go at the speed that you write, because if you go fast, you'll end up making mistakes, and you don't want to make mistakes. You want these lines to be as perfect as possible. So if I get quiet, don't worry about it, because sometimes this takes a little bit of concentration. I don't know about you, but when I'm trying to concentrate or make sure something is precise, my whole brain has to get into it, or I ended up messing it up. So and you want to brush the debris as you go, because it will just sit on top of the canvas here, and then you won't be able to see exactly where you're brushing, or if you got all the scratch art scratching stuff off. And on this particular mandala, when you scratch, it brings out almost like a rainbow effect. You see how this red goes into this orange, and then goes into like a light green, and then a blue. And I'm gonna bring this up, not like you're not close enough, but see how the colors change? And essentially, that's how you do the scratch art. You take, just very carefully, take your time. There's no need to rush. And this is why I normally do time lapses, because it does take quite a while to get these lines perfect and to get all the scratch off to reveal the beautiful colors underneath. So if there's something that you are curious about when it comes to scratch art, you have questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. No, I am not at all a professional scratch artist. Some may say and have said that they don't consider this art because you're not making anything. But to me, art is anything you create with your own two hands. And I'm creating this color from underneath this scratching. So this is my art. So Hopefully you're having a mindful Monday. And this helps you relax. This is something easy you can do. You can take it to work. You can do it in the car while you're waiting for something. I made the comment in one of my videos, I think, that I like to do it in the car, and somebody said about watching out for bumps, but what I forgot to say was I do it in the car when I'm waiting for my kids to get out of school, because when you pick up your kids from school, you have to wait because they don't get out right as soon as you get there. So I like to do it in the car while I'm waiting for my kids to get out of school. But I know a lot of people work, and if you're like on a lunch break or you have 5 minutes from work and you just need something to help you relax a little bit, because work can be stressful, I highly suggest this activity. It's something to slow you down, helps get your brain going. You can just sit back and think on and reflect on things that are going on in your life. Can help you clear your mind almost. And if you happen to make a mistake, don't fret. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. All mistakes are life lessons that you just haven't seen yet. So just take your time, scratch those lines, scratch away at all those problems. When I first started doing this, I was like, you know what, this is tedious, it takes too long, I don't like it. And then I realized, it's supposed to be tedious. It's supposed to slow you down. Life is so go, go, go. Everybody's going somewhere. Everybody's got something to do. Nobody ever takes time to stop and smell the flowers like they used to. And this is one of those activities that makes me feel like, you know what? It's okay to have some me time. It's okay to relax and do something you enjoy, whether that be this or diamond painting or crocheting or knitting or what have you. And it's a beautiful snowy day outside. And you'd be shocked to know that my children are actually home. They're still asleep, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So I figured I'd get up and go ahead and make this video. And today is Monday, February 4th, I believe. Or it's September 12th, whenever you decide to watch this video. We're just gonna trace this outside line here. And just notice how I wipe as I go to keep visibility up, because you want to be able to see what you're doing. So I would say you definitely want to make sure you have plenty of light. Make sure there's nothing that's going to like jump out and scare you, essentially. Because again, you don't want to mess up the lines if you don't have to. I mean, yeah, they're probably not going to be the straightest lines on the planet. But you know what? They are straight enough to make the design that you desire. Alright. So as you can see, that's coming along nicely. Alright, so now I'm going to use this cool little tool to get these square, or these circles. And again, you might not get it perfect, and that's okay. In a world where everything is perfectly imperfect, you'll never find perfection. And then you just brush away at the things there. Oh, wrong side. We're gonna finish this line in here. And then to define those lines a little bit, we're going to use the wooden tool. And there you go. You got a small piece completed. So scratch art isn't something that's very difficult to do. Any age can do it, and they do make scratch art for kids on Amazon as well. But as you can see, there's our scratch art. It's as simple as that. If it stopped trying to focus. Alright, so zoom back out here. That's all that is to scratch art. So if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to put them down in the comment section below. If not, I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you don't. That's fine too. I hope you guys have a great Mindful Monday, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.